we took a trip to Gulu to go and train ladies in Gulu in very simple digital skills for productivity and for business. For me, that impacted me so much to see how knowledge and experience and competence that I use in my everyday work was such a light bulb moment for the ladies that we trained in Gulu, and they could see how their lives were just going to be changed from just this sheer understanding of how to use Google Drive and spreadsheets to be able to enhance their businesses. And after that training for about 5 days, it left me with a change in my heart to want to impact more and more women. I am a very women-centered person. So I absolutely love the fact that I could see 30 women, that some of them even came out with children that they were still feeding and nursing, seeing them yearn for knowledge and gaining this knowledge and telling us how it's going to transform their businesses. And in 5 days, some of them had already come up with a website, a spreadsheet, how to manage their finances. That just left me blown away, and it gave me more wanting to grow Refactory and to impact very many more people across the globe and not just in Uganda.
Joining these classes, I was just comparing what I've been learning at the university and what they're teaching me. I'd spent 2 years to be able to do an actual project as a software engineer. And when I joined Refactory in the very first week, already being introduced to what we need to set up in our tech stack, what we need to have in our computers, what we need to learn, the different languages we need to be able to get acquainted with. But most importantly, they introduced the leadership lessons, and those introduced a lot of me asking, what do I want to do, being self-aware of my environment, being self-aware of the things I want to do in the future. So I saw immediately a shift in being practical and learning the theory, and to already change my fears of, you're passing the examinations, but you may not have the skill it takes for you to thrive in the software development career.
I joined Refactory. My first time was around 2023, January 2023, and I'd taken a 1 year gap after my high school, just trying to figure out what I really want to do with my life moving forward. But deep within myself, I've always been really passionate about tech and building a career in technology.
From 2023, must have been 2023, yes, or 2022, we introduced a mentorship function. So the mentorship function meant that we needed to see that the students are not just learning in class and having coaching sessions, but also getting to have alumni support them in their learning through mentoring sessions, one-on-one, which has been one of those things that I'm really, really proud of doing at Refactory.
First of all, Refactory is on a mission to skill as many software developers as it can, equipping them with the right tools, making them job ready to take on the jobs, the software development jobs in the Ugandan market. But also, we are equipping them with we are training them on international standards so that they can as well take on roles on an international market.
This journey has been a transformative one for me, just seeing people come from, places of doubt, uncertainty, sometimes even fear for this new thing, and then, a life transformed sometimes in 3 months. Others, 9, and their entire trajectory, career, but even life-wise, changes drastically.
We had a project that now we codenamed Digi Health, and it was quite interesting. What we're aiming to do was to make sure that any human being would have some sort of a tech device that was like a coin that had most of the relevant health information already encoded on this coin. And this was mainly to be used in terms of urgency times when someone is taken to the hospital and they do not know enough information about them, that a hospital or a doctor or a nurse can actually use that coin to decode any information about that particular individual, all the way from blood type to allergies to any of that information. Yeah, so for me it was quite fascinating, and working within a hospital, it was also fascinating that I got a chance to talk to real doctors who would actually use such a technology.
Refactory is playing a big role in the future of tech education in the way it approaches things. The fact that these Refactory graduates go through the training with actual experienced people puts them at a far much skill level than what the traditional universities offer. So, you know, if you look at the modules, it's not just write software, it's also, hey, write software, this is how you project manage, this is how you build the business. So it's not just, you know, tech, so the people come out all around and ready to tackle the industry. And I think that's, you know, there are very big skill gaps to fill. And so if we have people who are ready to, you know, who have had bits of experiences, who have experienced what it is to work in an industry because of the internship program that is offered after the end of your bootcamp, being working in an industry, that fills the need.
Over half of our employees are from Refactory. So we believe in what we're involved in. But beyond that, we are very active participants in the bootcamp. We just had 4 Refactory students here for a period of 6 months, and we shall continue to do that for the foreseeable future. As the more we expand, the more we will absorb people from Refactory, because for us, the model has been perfect for us, and we are one of the leading software development companies in Uganda, because we are comfortable taking on Refactory students. Others, I expect that they should do the same, because we are doing the same things. If they are good for us, certainly they should be good for others.
Refactory was really something that grew out of a very, very big need. At the time, I was the managing director of Laboremas Uganda Limited, which is a software company. We were training Ugandan developers to develop software both for banks in Norway and Europe, but also in the Ugandan market. What we found is that we always would spend a lot of time on training developers. Yet what we really wanted was to develop awesome software. So sometimes we found ourselves dragged towards training and putting a lot of effort and time into that, yet it wasn't really what our business was meant to do. So we wanted to look for solutions of another provider that could actually take over this whole training element, and so that we could focus our business on what we really wanted to do and where we could add value.
There was a project that was going before Refactory called Lift 256. And that really came out of, and it's very much meshed with the reason for starting Refactory, is recognizing that there's a huge amount of talent in Uganda, in East Africa, and really smart people who just need an opportunity in order to be able to see their potential fulfilled. At the same time, there's a massive need for really skilled developers, you know, not just in Uganda and East Africa, but more widely as well. There's a shortage of talent. So you've got raw talent, and then you've got a shortage of talent. And we realized that there was a gap in the middle, and that people weren't being able to get from this point over here to be actual, you know, working for a really good company, doing stuff that they love doing.
We were introduced to Michael and Nitajika, and I remember as if it was yesterday, sitting in the care cafe at the International Health Sciences, or IHK Hospital as it was. And we sat in the care cafe with a coffee, and we spoke about our dreams and our visions. And what Michael did brilliantly and really articulately was he poured out this vision. Coming from a university, Makerere University, understanding the education system, he poured out a vision where we could provide an accelerator, we could provide a mechanism for young, talented Ugandan men and women to catapult them in their career. How do we help you come out of university and catapult you in your career?
I worked in Makerere for about 12 years. And one of the things that was apparent was that we were training quite a number of young people in the tech faculty, but we're not finding work. And it was evident that the industry was was concerned to the extent, but also they were ready to move on with or without us as Makerere University. And so my last key position at the university was the head of corporate relations. So I tried to, as much as possible, to bring industry to the university. But it was evident that we were not structured to coexist to the extent possible, to the extent that to get feedback, to change curricula, to focus on the vital few that then enable the candidates, our students, to find work. In 2015, because I'd been sharing with a lot of people, I met two gentlemen, Michael Green and Pete Sampi, through again an acquaintance who had shared with this vision and said, Michael, there are two people here who want to set up an IT program. It would be good for you to meet them. And so I meet them over coffee and I tell them, if you want to start an IT program, I'm happy to join you, but on condition that we're not doing another degree, and it's because we have so many degrees, what we lack is helping people transition to work. I said, okay, sounds interesting. And I said, and please allow me the space to try and fail, because I also am not sure exactly what I need to deliver. And along the way, the more I spoke to industry, the more I realized there was willingness to come in and support. In 2018, we then applied for a grant with Laboremas Fontes Foundation and Clark International University from the Norwegian Agency for International Development. And that really gave birth to Refactory, because we now had resources to try a couple of things, to attempt a few models. And I can say we've not looked back since then. We've been growing. We've had challenges like any startup. It took some time for companies here to get to appreciate our model. But we're at a point now where, every month there is an inquiry. Do you have some people we want to hire? Can you find me 1, 2, 3 people? I like it. I like where we are. We can do better, we can improve, but overall, I'm happy, if I could put it that way.
My desire for Refactory is that the experience that others have managed to have, that has transformed their lives, because they speak about this very proudly, I would love that is replicated at a large scale. The future in tech is very bright. We still have massive shortages of people who work in the tech sector, especially software, data science, artificial intelligence. But Refactory is not just about tech. It prepares you for work, but it also prepares you for life.